Hi guys, so we're gonna do an audio video recording in regards about just the perspective of different purchasing styles of home buying. I'm very thoroughly aware about how to purchase a home in here, lower mainland Vancouver, but I've been kind of curious what's like for newcomers who have come into Canada here, have experienced purchasing a home back home. How's it different in comparison to here? Obviously, you guys haven't touched base in regards about purchasing home, but I know the fact that you actually purchased a home in India.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of curious on what's like to purchase home in India. So let's kind of start and get an idea. What is it like to be a homeowner, or what's like to purchase a home in India? Because I'm sure most people have an idea what to purchase a home in Vancouver, but let's talk about that in different cultures. Now, what do you need financing? Because here in Vancouver, you need to be pre-approved to make sure that your income is sufficient, that we can have a mortgage to finance home.
Okay.
So is that the same here? I mean, not in here, but in Mumbai. Do you need to have some sort of financing? Do you need a bank to help you purchase a home?
Yes, you can.
Yeah,
go ahead.
back in India, we call it as home loan, and we don't call it as mortgage or financing.
Okay.
But yes, most of the salaried people, or people in the middle age, middle income group, will require a home loan to purchase a home for sure.
Okay.
And at the same time, we call something like down payment.
Yes.
So we have to invest some capital before we get some approval from the bank.
Okay.
To show that we are capable of, paying off the loans and buying the house.
So for financing, you mentioned the fact that there is a down payment that you have to put. What is the percentage?
Percentage, 10?
Oh,
10.
it depends. 5-10%.
Yeah.
10% is good enough.
Okay.
And you have to show a good track record of that, what we call CIBIL.
Your
credit score.
Credit score,
yeah.
CIBIL score.
And at the same time, in order to get approval from the bank, there are categories of companies in which you work, the A, B, C.
Oh, so
depending
they get ranked.
Yeah.
That's right, yes.
Exactly.
Oh, wow, okay.
And also you need to show that you have worked in that company for at least 6 months. So you have to show 6 months salary slip as well.
Oh, I'm so scared of being self-employed.
Yes, self-employed.
We have issues here. Wow, it sounds like you're even harder over there.
Right.
So here we also have down payment like you in Mumbai, but we also have 5 to 10% as well. But it's very, very risky for most banks. They would have insurance, but in general we have 20%.
Okay.
So 20%. So 80% is financed by the bank, and 20% would be directly from you as your show sense of faith and everything. So that's good to know. So there is a little bit of commonality in that area. So the second thing, do you need a realtor? Because here we encourage having a realtor, aka such as myself. What about you guys?
So the term realtor we only understood and heard here in Canada.
Really?
Because back in India, what happens is everybody is a realtor.
No, we call them agents.
Agents or brokers, basically.
Yeah, broker.
They don't need a license, number one. You need to know people. As soon as you know people, as soon as you know that somebody is wanting to sell, and then you spread the word around, and then you get somebody to be interested in it. So that's it.
So we always need a lawyer for sure to have that agreement between the purchaser and the seller.
Oh, so you really just need a lawyer.
Yeah, we need a lawyer for
right.
paperwork. But apart from that, for background verification, we go to the tehsil office, the government office, to see the actual registration of who is the actual owner, how many owners, the title, the title verification we do.
So you guys, it's very straight, directly.
Yes.
Okay, so we have something like that, more like for sale by owner. So we do have something like that. It's called for sale by owner, where the seller says they're looking to sell. And they would have a sign of some sort, or you just like you guys spread the word amongst your family, friends, and whatnot. And then if there's a potential buyer, maybe such as yourself, you go knock on their door saying, "Hey, I look at the home, I love it. Let's just go to the lawyer's office and sign the papers, and then it's done."
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's similar here that it does happen, but it's not encouraged because there's a lot of risks involved when it comes to purchasing a home that we tend to avoid that.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of different variables why not many people want to do that. But I mean, you can have a lot of arguments against pro and for and against having a realtor. That could be another thing to talk about.
I want to add an interesting thing over here.
Yeah.
That in India, we have two types of constructions. Okay. One construction is done by private builders.
Yes.
Okay. And the other is the affordable housing, which is constructed by government.
Right.
Okay. So over there, the background verification, the title clearance, it's safer when the building is constructed by the government.
Yes.
Yeah. And for builders background verification, you always have to talk with people or read the newspaper.
Oh, okay.
If that builder has done something in past, if it has criminal records or anything, that's
Oh, wow. So you're really relying on the media to really know.
Yes.
So you really don't know anything behind it.
Yeah, it's all trust factor.
And the most important thing is the difference is here real estate is regulated.
Yes.
In India, it is not regulated. So
What do you mean?
it is licensed here, so somebody needs to be
They take accountability.
Take accountability. So that's why the accountability is less back in India because it's not a regulated industry.
Makes sense.
Anybody can buy, sell.
That's
there need not be any offers and things like that. So those are all the terms that are used here. But back in India, you don't actually need anything.
So if anyone sells your home, and it's like, oh, I will sell you a home. You take whatever they take for word and you just buy it.
That's right. No, obviously you do your background check.
The background verification
course.
is there.
Yeah.
So you have
do
to do it.
Do you since anyone can buy and sell, do they make any money?
Yes, they do.
Oh yes.
They do. Yeah.
Okay.
Commissions are there.
Yes. Oh, commissions are there. Is there a standard?
2%, but generally it depends again upon the value. If it is huge, the value is very large. It depends. It comes down to say 1% or something.
So how do you distinguish pricing?
Okay.
Distinguishing pricing.
So anything in the crores thing, like in India we call it. 1 million is 10 lakh in India.
So what I mean is, how do you know a home is priced at a certain way?
Oh, you mean the market value, right?
Market.
Okay. Yes. So we have. Oh, I forgot that term. A ready reckoner. Okay, so we have the sheet. There is the website, government website, where we get the ready reckoner rates.
Okay.
So you have to identify that first. Okay, and based upon that, you can decide what is the current rate going on from the ready reckoner. And even though that is the market value, so sometimes people sell it at a higher value because they have renovated the house, because of the locality got better amenities, etc.
Okay. So you have sort of a benchmark from the government.
Yes, we do have it.
So that provides a bit more reassurance because you have the government back it. Whereas something like here, we do not. This is just based on pure market value.
Exactly.
Like whatever the market's regulated. So this sounds like it's more government regulated. More
government
regulated. And recently these laws got more strict. Recently we got introduced with one law called RERA. Okay, I don't remember the full form now, but under RERA there are registered properties and there will be a name of the builder, whether it's government, private or whatever builder mentioned. So at least that this land or this flat or the house is registered with government. It is not an unofficial construction or illegal construction.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that provides a sense of security and
accountability.
Okay, good. That's interesting to know.
Yeah.
So this part's definitely different for sure.
Yeah.
Now, guess there's really no need of a realtor over there.
Yeah.
Is there certain agreements when it comes, so based on what you're saying, you don't have a realtor, so you really don't need any type of contract writing to ensure the fact that they get a certain commission or anything. The commission decision is based on afterwards, or is it before you look to purchase a home?
So the commission thing is generally word of mouth. And one more difference is, like in India, both the sides, I mean the agent will expect a commission from both the sides,
Oh, they get
seller
both.
and the buyer.
Interesting.
So it depends upon their negotiation skills.
I see. So it's all up to the agent, kind of.
Up to the agent, yes.
Oh, that is interesting. So it's not actually written out in stone.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yes.
here, we prior to even going into purchasing a home with the buyer or with the seller, it's a set kind of like price negotiation where the seller will provide the commission. And then the buying side, the agent, would receive a portion of that commission from the seller agent.
Yes,
Correct.
yes.
Interesting.
At the same time, we pay stamp duties.
We pay stamp
We
duty.
pay stamp duty.
What's stamp duty?
Stamp duty is something which we pay to the government for the transaction.
Oh, so
Okay.
it's a transactional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We pay it to the government for the registration, for transfer of the title. So it is kind of a processing fees.
Okay. So we have something sort of like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And that is for the registration of the house again. Okay. And the parties mutually decide like who will pay the stamp duty.
Oh, so
It is kind of unofficial that the buyer will pay it,
okay.
but it depends upon the party.
Negotiations,
I see, so
yes.
negotiated. Interesting. So a lot of time everything's verbal.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
it's not, there is really no legal binding contract ahead of time. So it's all verbal
What?
for negotiation. And even comes to even when it comes to pricing and whatnot.
The pricing, we have the ready reckoner, which we
so
refer.
you use that.
Yeah,
okay.
we use that.
But then do you negotiate on those? Can you
Of course.
negotiate?
Yes.
Yeah, not below that, but
Not below.
yeah, because on the ready reckoner rate, you will get the loan approval.
Oh.
That is the game.
Yeah, loan approval.
Yeah.
The mortgage approval.
Yes.
I see.
So that is the market value.
So the market value it has to be this price or above.
Little bit above, not there is
So
a ratio.
So the pricing is sort of fixed. So there isn't too much negotiation.
Yes.
So what value is it for the agents to have a commission then?
Okay.
The final value.
No.
Yeah.
Come again.
Because I mean, for me to get a commission, I have a lot more duties. So negotiating on your behalf here to get the price as low or high as possible on the best interest of my party. So if I'm on the selling side, I would try to get the price as high as possible for the value of my seller, and vice versa. If I was on the buying side, I would try to lower the price as much as possible for the purchaser. And then on top of it, I would do a lot of market analysis. I would take them on tours. A lot of those work is what deems the value of my commission.
You're right. I get
Whereas for the fact that if the home is already set by the government, what kind of what's the value having a normal agent receiving like 1 or 2% commission?
So back in India, it's all about referrals. So it's not more of working, but it's because of me you're getting connected with the buyer and the seller and things
so
like that.
you're paying for more of that referral.
It's not on commission, but it's referral.
Yeah.
And most of referral fee more of a sense.
And most of the work that the realtor does here, the buyer or the seller would do it themselves, like in India, and still pay the agent a commission.
So on paper, there are only two parties.
There's so much more work here. We're so regulated, where you guys are taking way more risk.
Yeah. So
this
on paper, there are only two parties: the buyer and the seller.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because here we are solely responsible, and so we take on a lot more liability and responsibility when it comes to providing advice and our views and takes on how the market's like, how you should negotiate. So we put a lot of emphasis on those to kind of get that commission payment for the work we've done. But it's so different over in Mumbai. Okay, so how about understand the needs and wants? Did the agent do any of that, or you just kind of like, hey, I found a home I like, that's when you find an agent?
Oh, it works both ways. If I like an area, I will contact an agent in that area and I will tell him or her about my needs and requirements, my budgets as well.
Yes.
And accordingly, that agent will suggest me.
Okay.
and from the listings available, or from the places that he or she knows.
So are all the listings that he or she is aware of, are they listed somewhere on a website or some sort of kind of system of some sort?
Yes.
Private websites.
So for private builders, we have private websites.
Okay.
There are many, like for hotels, we have booking.com, Make My Trip, etc.
Yeah.
For real estate, we have something called Bricks and rentals and other websites.
Correct.
And for government listing, we have government website.
Oh, so you have multiple websites.
Yes.
Instead of like where here we have kind of like one all-encompassing central system. So that's a lot of like research, a lot of searching on.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
And what do tours look like? Do the agent kind of take you around with tours and things like that? Okay. And like, how does it look like? So do they kind of take the time to set it up with you and take you around and in that particular area, or they kind of go all over the place with you?
So honestly, finding a house. So people study the area, how it is going to get developed. So based upon that, first people decide, okay, I want to buy a house in Kharghar, which is our locality in Mumbai, because there is an international airport going to come up. There are certain malls or schools or hospitals going to come up. Yes. So we keep reading the paper and we know that which area is going to boom. That's how my father and his father bought our house. Okay. So they will go just random day into that area and keep walking and exploring and keep speaking to people over there.
I think one of the major differences why back in India, the demand and the supply are more calmer than here.
A bit more balanced.
It's very much balanced. There are more sellers than buyers in India because there's a lot of inventory available, which is already built or in the pre-construction stages, which means there's no dearth of supply. And hence demand is not that much, whereas here demand is too much because there's no supply.
Agreed.
So that's
interesting. So that's really like eye-opening for me, because the fact that like it's such a different concept compared to here, whereas demand and a lot of the homes already, they've taken the chance, the private developers have taken a chance to already have those inventory already set for you to purchase.
Correct.
So there's a chance for them to lose money though.
Yes. People lose money, people lose a lot of money.
Yes. Especially in private builders, people lose money.
So they're taking a larger risk, whereas it's very different here. So, I mean, the developer's already taken the initial risk by purchasing the land and doing the initial investment. But in order to proceed with the final construction, we actually call pre-sale, like you said, pre-sale, market the homes first, and then have a certain amount of funding in to show the government that, hey, there is a demand for it in order for it to actually complete.
Yes.
So that there's less risk and both parties are committed to make this happen.
Yes.
Whereas like in the pre-sale private homes, they're taking all the risk, not knowing exactly if the buyers are going to buy.
No, there also, Samantha, people pre-book. The pre-construction homes are a little cheaper, because obviously it's at the construction stage and they will take at least 4 to 5 years to be ready. So similar thing is back in India as well. The private builders raise money from buyers.
Okay. So that's also very. So that's the same
similar.
Here. Well, that's good to know, because you also mentioned that the ones are already pre-built as well. That is a risk.
That's a risk.
So when we are paying advance in a pre-construct, like what do we call it?
Pre-construction.
So there is an agreement in which the builder and the buyer, entering, and you can break that agreement as well. The buyer, there is obviously a certain amount which the builder cuts, as a fees, but yes, there is a contract and you can.
Good to know. Okay. So after finding a home, how do you complete on it? So what I mean is there is it really immediate? Is there a certain process after finding a home? How does that kind of work? Because, for example, once you complete, we go through and have a notary or a lawyer.
Correct.
And they actually help us register it to the land title, and then we sort out all our proper finances and all that. So is that the same with you?
Same.
Okay. Well, that's
the documentation process takes a little time, but it's almost the same. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you rely on a notary or do you use a lawyer?
Both.
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 Is it cheaper with a notary compared to a lawyer? Or
No,
is it pretty
notary
much the
is
same?
for registration, like writing an affidavit or something, but the final registration is done by a lawyer.
Okay. And how long does it take to complete? If you were so how long does it usually take? For example, once you find a home, you like the home, how long does it take for you to move in?
Move in. Okay.
Move in depends upon the house or the apartment, because generally in big cities like Mumbai, you don't have houses, you have apartments, you have flats. We call it flats there.
Of course, yes.
Right? So if it is ready and if the paperwork can get done in say 1 week or 2 weeks time, the bank processes it quickly, the bank loan, and it's done. 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
2 to 3 weeks is
I guess it's easy for you guys to take the time to move and
Yes.
Because for us it takes 2-3 weeks is great if the home's vacant. If the home is not vacant, most cases, families, and it takes almost a month. Like 30 days up to even 3 months, because now they've pushed the regulations. If you are currently renting, it gives the renters at least 3 months time to find and relocate.
Okay.
So it's a longer process here
to
move into their home.
Okay.
So whereas here, in Mumbai, it's
Little faster.
extremely fast. If you ask me. Nice. Okay, that's very eye-opening to understand that. That's the process seems fairly simple, very straightforward in comparison to here, where there's a lot of rules and regulations, as you mentioned, that is not very regulated over there, especially no realtor. Typically, what does a first-time home buyer look for in a home if you're in purchasing a flat in Bombay and things like that?
Like I mentioned, how my father purchased is looking out, because I was almost graduated at that time. So he was looking out for closer to the railway station.
Oh, okay.
Closer to the highway, national highway. Then there is an international airport coming up, which is like a 15 minutes drive.
That's
and
very
at the same
close.
time, our parents purchased it with a government construction, because it was safe, constructed by central government or the government. And so the title was clear. They were the first buyers.
Okay.
There were no previous owners.
Okay.
etc. And the rates were of course affordable.
Okay.
And yes, they preferred purchasing it pretty early, because we purchased it in 2009 and we shifted in 2011.
So it took
and still the building was constructing, painting.
3 years time. Okay. And
that way.
okay.
So these are the things which my father considered. But if there is a family with kids, like a 2-year-old or a 5-year-old kid, then they will look out for school, a good school nearby, and good roads, hospitals. These are the things which everyone considers.
Okay. And then is there certain things so here I also asked a lot of questions about what are their needs and wants. Is a direction of the home is important?
Yes.
And what is the most popular direction that people love when it comes
East-west.
to East-west?
Yeah.
Okay.
People call Vastu consultants as well to sort of just see and suggest and things like that. So that's also catching up. Vastu consultants.
Okay. And then is there a specific type of floors that most people are looking for minimum? The higher the better, the lower the better. Here some people love ground floor, but there's certain ones where there's I want it to be at least higher 9 floors and above, or they want penthouse, they want top floor, they want corner unit. Do you have something similar like that?
Yeah,
I think again depends upon a lot of factors. Budget is one of the major important factors. If you have all the budgets, owning a penthouse is not difficult. If you don't have the budgets,
unlimited.
Exactly, right? So it is mostly to do with budgets, and then these extra amenities. Nowadays, these extra amenities are catching up in newer societies and newer buildings. But mostly, I think again, it boils down to budgets.
Many of the society have that. So we call it society when there is a collection of 3 or 4 tall buildings.
Yeah.
They have a compound, so that is one society.
Oh, okay. So we call it complex.
Complex.
Yes,
Complex.
is bigger.
Ah.
So yeah, in that, like you mentioned, amenities. So people have clubhouse.
Yes.
People have swimming pool, then big parks.
Okay.
Yeah,
Same thing here. Where everybody's trying to create that community.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. So staying in that, like you said, the compound or community, so you don't have to go anywhere.
That's right.
Everything's all about convenience.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
That's similar here. So, how many floors can it go up to?
Oh, that depends. That depends city to city. But then in Bombay, generally, I think we have now 70, 80 floors as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you know?
Not close to the airport, but
Not close to the airport,
so
high rise.
high rise that we're currently just been approved from Burnaby is, I believe, 72 stories high. That is the highest right now, and we already were saying the one at the Vancouver House in downtown considered to be very high. It's one of the highest high rises. I think it was like 40 something stories high. Now it's been approved for 72 stories. That's insane. And I guess it's very common already in Mumbai.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you must have a lot of elevators inside in order to go down, up and down.
Yes. In fact, the office buildings, like the corporate buildings, have a lot of many floors. So I think 40, 50 floors they have, and they have like huge elevators. And there's strictly in the mornings when the office starts, there's actually a queue in order to get in, and you get actually delayed for work because you are stuck in queue. So elevator.
Waiting for the elevator, right? Is it the same in the high rises then? Do you at least like a certain level, there's a certain requirement of how many elevators you should be having?
Yes. There are at least 4 to 5 elevators in such buildings, wherein they have like 40, 50 floors.
And the stairs.
Stairs, but nobody wants to use
Nobody ever wants to use it. I always get worried. What happens if there's a fire?
Always stairs.
Always stairs. You're on like the 50th floor. You're going all the way down. That is too much. That's why I'm like, lower floor is better.
For sure.
Is there anything about outdoor space? Is it a big requirement? Do you need balconies? I know here we'd like to have some type of outdoor space, like a balcony of some sort. Do you also have like a must-have when it comes to balconies or outdoor spaces?
So what has happened is balconies is a concept that was there always, but in the recent years, what people started doing is since their home compressed to lesser square feet, they started getting the balconies inside their rooms, inside their houses. So which means this area would be inside the house so that they can get a little more of a living room, more of a little more of the bedroom and things like that. But I always prefer a balcony because it's the feeling of a balcony.
Nice. Okay. And it sounds like from what I can tell, being in a large city such as like Bombay, all the homes are concrete.
That's right.
Concrete is a must and everything.
Yes.
There is no other construction besides concrete. Okay. And then in most cases, are a lot of the homes one bedrooms, or do you see mainly because of multiple generations of families living together? Do a lot of homes are bigger in size than concrete homes, or is it smaller, larger?
Generally, it is 2 to 3 bedrooms. 2 to 3 bedrooms is the norm for families now. 1 bedroom, or we have a concept of 1 RK as well. That is one room and kitchen. So there's no living space. There's like
it's like a studio.
It's like a studio. 300, 350 square feet.
That's tiny.
Yeah, that's very tiny. That's like
in Mumbai.
We call them micro homes.
Yeah. Something like that.
Is it the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Mumbai, you will find such construction, Samantha, because our city especially is overpopulated. If you go out of Mumbai, you have huge houses, huge big flats at affordable prices.
Same. Anywhere, I suppose. When you're in a very congested, very populated, well sought out cities, spots, everywhere else is sort of neglected. You have more space, prices a lot more less tightened. Whereas like when you're in a larger city, space is small, the prices go up like crazy.
Correct.
Okay, so it feels like it's very relatable. Vancouver, Mumbai, anywhere, it's the concept of human nature of supply and demand.
Correct.
It's the same.
Correct.
For me, this is amazing to hear the fact that like the process, the concepts of purchasing a home on your side in India, it's similar yet different at the same time. It's definitely, for me, I've learned a lot. So thank you for sharing.
You're most
I would
welcome.
love to be able to continue on these stories and hear other cultures, whether it's the same thing as well.
Yeah.
Sure.
So thank you so much, Lakshmi. Thank you, Kaustav.
Thank you,
And
Samantha.
I would love to have you guys on again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.